वमा अर्सलनाका इल्ला रहमतल लिल आलमीन 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 वमा अर्सलनाका इल्ला रहमतल लिल आलमीन। शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। या अली मदद सर।
या अली मदद, या अली मदद। सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह। बहुत खूब, बहुत खूब। या अली मदद। तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद।
मौला अली मदद,
मौला अली मदद,
आमीन आमीन।
मौला अली
या अली
मदद,
मदद,
मौला अली
मौला
मदद,
अली मदद, मौला
या
अली
अली मदद
मदद,
अजीज भाई,
या अली मदद, या अली मदद।
मौला अली मदद।
बिस्मिल्लाह करते हैं इमाम के मुबारक नाम से। शुक्रनिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। या नूर मौलाना शाह करीमुल हुसैनी हाजिर इमाम, हाजिर इमाम। या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा। अलीयुल कय्यूम, अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। नूर मौलाना शाह करीमुल हुसैनी हाजिर इमाम, हाजिर इमाम। या मौला तौफीक ताहिद हिम्मत व यारी मौला, तौफीक ताहिद हिम्मत व यारी मौला। या मौला मदद फरमा, या मौला मदद फरमा। आज हम कलाम इमाम मुबीन फरमान नंबर 36, कलाम इमाम मुबीन फरमान नंबर 36 से इस सेशन का आगाज करेंगे। मौला से दुआ है, या मौला मेहरबान stay with us, help us read, understand and then follow your Mubarak Farman Mawla. It is amazing sometime, and I think about this a lot. Some morning when you wake up, you feel so feeble and you require more help of the Imam than other days. And I wonder what happened. कभी कभार मुझे हैरत होती है कि कुछ सुबह को जब आप उठते हैं तो आपको इमाम की मदद की बहुत ज्यादा शिद्दत से याद आती है और मदद की जरूरत पड़ती है। और मैं सोचता हूं कि ऐसा क्यों? क्या हमारी पूरी गिरयावजारी नहीं हुई, पूरी तस्बीहात नहीं हुई, पूरी इबादत नहीं हुई? क्या किसी चीज में कमी कोताही आ गई? क्या वजह है कि इमाम की इतनी ज्यादा मदद की और उसकी याद आती है? एक तरफ से ये मॉर्निंग, this kind of morning are blessing because the remembrance of Imam is very firm and hard. एक तरफ से इमाम की याद बहुत ही ज्यादा तेजी और मजबूती से आती है, दूसरी तरफ से डर लगता है कि क्या किसी कमी कोताही की वजह से ऐसा हो रहा है। लेकिन जो भी है, मुझे पूरा यकीन है इमाम ज़मान पर कि वो जरूर मोमिनों के लिए एक रहमत की सूरत में आता होगा, क्योंकि अगर उसकी याद पॉजिटिव में आती है तो शुक्र, नेगेटिव में आती है तो भी शुक्र। बस आज ऐसा ही एक दिन है कि नाचीज बार बार ये कहना चाहता है, या मौला मदद फरमा, या मौला मदद फरमा, या मौला मदद फरमा, क्योंकि उसकी मदद के बगैर आज कुछ नहीं होने वाला है। इंशाल्लाह आप तमाम भाई बहनों की दुआओं से हम इस सेशन का आगाज करते हैं। फरमान नंबर 36, हजरत इमाम आका सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मदिन व आले मोहम्मद फरमाते हैं, तुम सब हमारे पास दुनिया की बातें लेकर आते हो, दीन की बातें नहीं पूछते। ये कितनी दिलगरी वाली बात है। This first line of this Farman, only if we think of this one line out of the entire Farman, it will teach us so much. अगर हम सिर्फ इस एक लाइन को ही पढ़ ले और समझें और याद रखें तो हमारे लिए बहुत सारे लेसन इसके अंदर से, बहुत सारे हमारे डेली हैबिट्स हमें नजर आएंगी। अगर हम अपने जिंदगी का जायजा लें और अगर हम अपनी दुआओं का जायजा लें, if we pay attention to our daily habits and if we pay attention to our daily duas, what are those duas? I have this issue, Mullah help me. I have this issue, Mullah help me. My children's issue, my parents' issue, my brother issues, my friend issue, my home issue, my money issue. सारे जो मसाइल हैं जो हमारे सामने आते रहते हैं, जिसको याद करके हम मौला से दुआ करते रहते हैं, बहुत ही कम, वेरी वंस इन अ वाइल हम कहते हैं मौला आज मेरी तस्बीह नहीं हो रही है, हेल्प मी। या मौला आज मेरी गिरियाउजारी नहीं हो रही है, हेल्प मी। या मौला आज मेरी इबादत नहीं हो रही है, हेल्प मी। या मौला आज मेरा दुआ के अंदर ध्यान नहीं लगता है, हेल्प मी। या मौला मजहब की ये बात मुझे समझ में नहीं आई, हेल्प मी अंडरस्टैंड। आई एम जस्ट सेइंग देयर कंपैरिजन। अगर हम उसको कंपेयर करें, एवरेज निकालें, तो पता चलेगा कि 75-80% we are complaining about our worldly issues and not very many spiritual or intellectual. रूहानी और अकली जो हमारे मसाइल हैं, हमारे तरीके को लेकर, हमारी समझ, इमाम की शनाकत, हमारी दुआ बंदगी के अंदर की जो कमी कोताही है, उसके लिए हम सोचते हैं, लेकिन सिर्फ 1 घंटा, सिर्फ आधा घंटा, बाकी 24 घंटे हमारे दुनिया के मसाइल के अंदर जाते हैं। और आपको इस बात को सुनकर शायद ताजुब भी होगा, कभी कभार इमाम जब तशरीफ लाते हैं, you may be surprised to hear this, that when Imam comes for Zahiri Didar and Imam said, I ask my Mukhi, I ask my leaders, what are the problems of the Jamaat? And I remember in one time, Hazrat Imam had said that our leader said that Jamaat is asking us about our business, that economy is very bad. I believe this was somewhere in 1978 or 80s, 1980s, so must be 1983 when Mullah Pahit came. The world economy and our country economy was really, really down. And Jamaat was worried, and leader had asked Mullah Bapa to give us the guidance. Mullah Bapa did give us the guidance. He always gives us the guidance, because that is the job, that is the requirement, that's how Imam works. His purpose of Imamat and his purpose of the life, as he said in his very first फरमान, इमाम का तो काम ही यही है कि जमात की दौड़ नहीं देवे. In his very first फरमान says, I have dedicated my entire life for your guidance, for your improvement, for your elevation. And another फरमान says, I have come to this world only for the purpose of your upliftment. So Imam will do that without even asking. So what Imam says in this Farman, that you all bring the worldly issues before me, but don't ask the matter of the deen. What a regrettable it is. कितनी अफसोस की बात है ये कि आप दीन की बात नहीं पूछते मेरे को, क्योंकि वो ज्यादा जरूरी है. Now let's look at some of the example that Imam is giving. But if this one line, if you remember and practice, you will see your life, your spiritual life, your dini life will change, because your conversation between you and Imam will change. अगर हम इस बात को याद कर लेते हैं तो आप देखेंगे कि आपकी जो दीनी जिंदगी है वो बदल जाएंगी, क्योंकि आपके और आपके इमाम के दरमियान का जो कॉन्वर्सेशन है, जो टॉक है, वो बदल जाएगा. आपको याद है कि एक मर्तबा हमने किसी सेशन के अंदर सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह की एक फरमान, जिसमें मौला हसन अली शाह के जमाने की एक वक्त की बात बताते हैं कि देखो आसमान पर 3 परिंदे उड़े जा रहे हैं. सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह in one of his फरमान referring to Imam Hassan Ali Shah, saying one time they were sitting with the Jamaat in an open ground, and he refers and points to the heavens and says, look at those 3 birds in the sky. You know what is the example of those 3 birds? Imam says, the very first bird, मौला फरमाते कि जो सबसे पहला परिंदा है, that is मोमिन. Second is दुनिया, जो दूसरा परिंदा है वो दुनिया है. Third is दुनियादार. The third one, जो तीसरा है वो दुनियादार है. मौला फरमाते हैं कि मोमिन जो है वो आगे आगे भागता है, दुनिया उसको पकड़ नहीं सकती है. मोमिन दुनिया के पीछे नहीं भागता है, दुनिया मोमिन के पीछे भागती है. और दुनियादार दुनिया के पीछे भागता है और दुनिया उसके हाथ में नहीं आती है. And the dunyadar runs after the world, and he will never catch everything in this world. So Momin does not run after the world, but the world runs behind Momin. We should be that kind of Momin. Now, let's take this example about Abe Shafa. And this has a lot of learning for us. मौला फरमाते हैं, तुम नियाज आबे शफा पीते हो, इसमें मट्टी और पानी से तुम्हारा दिल साफ नहीं होता. दिल किस तरह साफ होता है उसका तुम्हें ख्याल नहीं. जिस इक्तदार ईमान सच्चाई से तुम आबे शफा पीते हो, इससे दिल साफ होता है. So Imam first gives a very simple example by asking a question. Dini questions are very beautiful question. That when you drink the niyas, Abe Shafa, that is just a water and a dust, and that does not purify your heart. what does your niyat, your faith, and the truth which with you take the niyaz, that purifies your heart. The niyat is the key, the faith is the key, the true is the key. इन चीजों से आपका दिल साफ होता है, उसका तुम्हें ख्याल नहीं. Imam said, but you're not even thinking about it. When you're taking the niyaz, the niyat, the iman, and the truth is not behind it. You are not thinking about it. अगर दिल में सच्चाई ना हो, Imam says, if you are not true to yourself in your heart, then सिर्फ मिट्टी और पानी का न्यास पीने से क्या फायदा? Then what would be the use of the niyaz of water and clay? There is no benefit. So three things there is required before we take the niyaz. There are few lectures on niyaz. I would say, if you have time, if you like to learn, listen to those lectures on niyaz. The niyaz, just before we take the niyaz, what is the one thing that we have taught to say? I'm sure that our friends, someone at the end will say, but in so and so Ginan says this, but in so and so Ginan says this. But one thing which is most important, and that is before we take the niyaz, while we are standing in the line of the niyaz, what we should be doing and what are we doing? न्याज पीते वक्त और न्याज की लाइन में खड़े होते वक्त क्या हमें करना चाहिए और हम क्या करते हैं? Be honest to yourself. I'm not asking and you do not have to tell me. What do we do and what are we supposed to be doing while we are standing in the line? आप कहेंगे ओ मेरा दोस्त मिल गया ना, मेरा भाई मिल गया तो मैं लाइन में खड़ा रह के बातें करता था. लाइन में खड़े रहकर लोग मजाक करते होते हैं, जोक सुनाते हैं. लाइन के अंदर ये जो 1-2 मिनट होती है लाइन के अंदर हमारे पास, that is the time to do what? Imam is telling us in this Farman. Make the intention, नियत बांधने का वक्त होता है. Remember your faith, your iman, कि अभी जो हम करने जा रहे हैं, the action we are about to take, the Abe Shafa, the niyaz, the blessing of the Imam which we are about to take, what can it do for me? How would it help my soul? How would it help my akhirat? Be honest to yourself. Have you ever thought about that? Our mind is wandering everywhere but on the action we are about to take. हमारा ध्यान सब जगह है, लेकिन जो काम अभी हम करने जा रहे हैं, न्यास पीने जा रहे हैं, वहां पर हमारा ध्यान नहीं है. मौला फरमाते हैं तो फिर क्या फायदा? What is the benefit of drinking this water when your heart lacks the truthness? आपका दिल जो है उस मकाम पर कोई नियत नहीं, कोई ईमान नहीं, कोई सच्चाई नहीं. Very forceful फरमान, but that is so true. even after 100 years of this Farman, we are still doing exactly that. आज भी अगर आपको यकीन नहीं आता है तो कल सुबह को जमात खाने जाकर, जुमे के दिन जमात खाने जाकर, चांद रात को आपने देखा 1-2 दिन पहले जब लंबी लंबी लाइन थी चांद रात की, और अभी तो चलो थोड़ा कम हो गया ड्यू टू द कोविड, but we remember 2 years ago, we remember 4 years ago, we have seen people doing it and we have seen ourselves doing this. मौला आगे फरमाते हैं, पहले ईमान और दिल साफ हो तब ही पीना चाहिए, पहचानता चाहिए। जो हमारे असल रूप को नहीं पहचानता उनको मट्टी और पानी पीने से कोई फायदा नहीं होगा। Here I would like to ask a question. Imam said, your faith and your heart must be purified even before you drink the niyaz. Our thought, our understanding was that niyaz will purify your heart and your faith. आपने देखा कि उल्टा है, हम समझ रहे थे कि नियाज पीने से हमारा ईमान मजबूत होगा और हमारा दिल साफ होगा, लेकिन मौला फरमाते हैं नहीं, पहले आपका दिल साफ होना चाहिए, पहले आपका ईमान मजबूत होना चाहिए, इसके बाद नियाज पिए आप। और उसके अंदर कंडीशन रखी मौला ने, पता है कंडीशन क्या है? इन द इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन, in the English translation, let me see if I find that to make sure the translation is correct. I don't even see the line in English translation. यहाँ पर English translation के अंदर उर्दू के कंपैरिजन में एक लाइन मिस हो रही है, और वो है the recognition of Imam. कि without the recognition of Imam, what is the use, Mullah say? And I do not see that in the English translation. कि आपका जब तक इमाम के असल रूप को नहीं पहचानते हैं, if you don't have a recognition of Imam, then what is the use, Mullah says. This was really small, one paragraph Farman, but it does require our attention. At the end, if you have any question, please do ask. Let's move to Farman number 37. In the next Farman, Hazrat Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Salawatullah Alayhi says, तुम मजलिस करते हो उसमें किसी की गिबत और हसद नहीं करना, इस बात का बहुत ध्यान रखना, एक ही माँ से जन्म होने वाले फर्जंद हो, इस तरह से मिलजुल कर चलना। What a beautiful way of giving this farman. It's a continuation of this farman. Imam says that when you come to this majlis, do not backbite, don't gossip, be one, as one family, as you were born with one single mother, like brother and sister. कि आप आपस में एक होकर इस मजलिस को में आकर इस तरह से बैठना जिस तरह एक माँ बाप के बच्चे हैं हम। Don't backbite, don't gossip. What Imam is drawing our attention that we are all spiritual children of the Imam. Imam is our mother, spiritual mother, and Imam is our father, spiritual father. हम इमाम के रूहानी बच्चे हैं. इमाम हमारी रूहानी माँ और बाप हैं, और हम आपस में तमाम इमाम के रूहानी बच्चे हैं. I want to put this in each one of our mind, including myself. If we are all children of the Imam, pay attention to this. मैं आपके लिए एक बात बताना चाहता हूं. एक ऐसी दवाई, a prescription that will cure our habit, a bad habit of gossiping and backbiting. एक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन है कि जो आपके गिला गिबत की जो आदत है ना उसको खत्म कर देंगी अगर ये दवाई खा ली आपने तो. If you take this prescription, if we are and if we believe that we are Imam's spiritual children, all of us, every one of us, if that is the case, would you ever gossip about Imam's family? इमाम के जो नूरानी बच्चे हैं, कभी आप उसका कोई बुरी बात करते हैं? आप इमाम की फैमिली की कभी आप बुराई करते हैं? इमाम की फैमिली की बैक बाइटिंग करते हैं, गॉसिपिंग करते हैं इमाम की फैमिली इमाम के बच्चों के लिए? अगर आपका जवाब है कि नहीं, तो हम भी तो इमाम की फैमिली है, हम भी तो इमाम के रूहानी बच्चे हैं. How can we gossip about Imam's spiritual children? We are part of the Imam's family. If you remember this part, this is a prescription. It will cure our bad habit of gossiping and backbiting. नौज़बिल्लाह, खुदा ना खासा, क्या हम कभी भी इमाम के बच्चों के लिए और इमाम की फैमिली के लिए बुरी बात करते हैं? हम उसके पीछे से हम इमाम की बुराई करते हैं या उसके बच्चों की बुराई करते हैं? हम इमाम की फैमिली को नीचे दिखाने की कोशिश करते हैं? हम Do we ever do that for Imam family? If your answer is no, then remember we are Imam's spiritual children. Before we open our mouth toward the gossiping and backbiting about any of our brothers and sisters in Jamaat, remember he and she is the spiritual child of the Imam. In return, if you are doing that, warning, you are backbiting, and you are gossiping about Imam's children, Imam's family. Very, very important lesson and a prescription for you and me. Let's go further. बैतुल ख्याल वालों की बंदगी यानी कि बातिनी है और तनाई में करने की है. इमाम यहाँ पर एक, I don't see this. Okay, so Imam says in the bandagi of the Betul Khayal is a confidential, meaning is a batini, esoteric and solitary. इबादत बंदगी आपको अपने अंदर और जाती तौर पर करनी है. Now please do not take this कि हमको जमात खाने नहीं जाना है क्योंकि मौला ने यह फरमाया कि आप अकेले बैठकर इबादत करें. इसका मतलब है कि इबादत और इबादत में बैठना वो आपका जाती है, don't start to talk about your Isme Azam. Do not talk about your bandagi. Do not say that I come to bandagi, I go to Jamaat Khana for bandagi. Don't talk about any of that, because it is very personal to you. It is between you and your Imam, and it is within your heart and within your personal world. Confidential. Keep it to yourself. Not only that, you do not talk about the experiences of the bandagi and ibadat, but also don't go around, and we have seen this sometime, may not be intentional, but sometimes we are just waiting to tell people that, oh, I go to morning Jamaat Khana every day. And you know how does that start? And I wanted to say this in Gujarati and Urdu because it is more understandable, because we can imagine two people talking. Are Ben, ए भाई કેમ તું આટલો થાકેલો છો આજે? Instantly our answer is, હા હું સવારના 3 વાગે ઉઠું છું ને, ઇબાદત કરવા જાઉં છું ને જમાત ખાને રોજ, તો હું તો બહુ થાકી જાઉં છું. Isn't that true? Don't we do that? We wait for someone to ask us, why are we tired, or why do we look so tired? And instantly, without thinking sometime, we say that, oh yeah, I'm tired because I get up so early in the morning. I get up 3 o'clock in the morning, I go to Jamaat Khana, I do my bandagi. So by afternoon, I'm tired. Don't do that. Don't talk about that. Don't show off. It is not good for us. Keep it confidential. Bandagi is confidential to each one of us, and it is between us and the Imam. Keep it to yourself. Further, in one of the majlis or satara, Mullah says, ऐसा नहीं करना कि कोई तुम्हें फरेब दे, कोई तुम्हें कहे कि मुझे मजहब के लिए सतारे दिलाने हैं और उसके दिल में कोई और बात हो. ऐसे लोग बहुत हैं, क्योंकि इमाम हुसैन के जमाने में भी ज़ाहिरन कुछ कहते थे और दिल में दूसरी बातें होती थी. I'm going to finish this Farman and then we will talk about it. इसलिए कि किसी का सतारा कबूल करने से पहले इनके दिल में कोई और बात ना हो, उसका ख्याल करना. Imam is giving guidance how to accept satara. What is satara ceremonies? What is satara ceremony? When there is a problem, issues in our family, or sickness in our family, we go to Mukhi Sahib and we ask Mukhi Sahib to keep a satara. So may entire Jamaat pray for the Mushkil Asan. That is satara. I'm talking about the satara which are asked by the family to behold in the Jamaat Khana, and Mukhi Sahib accept that satara, that wish, जो उसकी नियत होती है फैमिली की, वो कबूल करनी. अब यहाँ पर सतारा दो किस्म का है, and I'm going to say something. It may not sit well with you. अभी जो मैं बोलने जा रहा हूं, हो सकता है कि आपको ये बात अच्छी ना लगे, लेकिन कभी कभार थोड़ा मुश्किल लेसन भी सुनना और याद करना होता है. So in advance, my apology. मैं पहले से ही आपसे माफी मांगता हूं कि अगर अभी ये जो मैं बात कहने वाला हूं वो आपको अच्छी ना लगे, तो उसके लिए मैं माफी चाहता हूं. सतारे लोग, दो किस्म के लोग सितारे दिलाते हैं। एक वो होते हैं कि जिनके माँ बाप बूढ़े हो चुके हैं और वो बीमार है या हॉस्पिटल में है। आई विल ट्रांसलेट दिस इन इंग्लिश इन अ मिनट। और वो मुखी साहब के पास आते हैं कि या मुखी साहब, माय मदर माय फादर वो बीमार है, तकलीफ में है, आप उसके लिए सचारा डाल दें। मुखी साहब पूछते हैं क्या हुआ? कैंसर हो गया है, हार्ट अटैक हुआ है, बहुत बड़ी बीमारी हो गई है, वगैरह वगैरह। नियत इज टू फोल्डेड। ये सतारे में जो दो नियत है मैं उसकी बात कर रहा हूं। एक नियत है कि हमारे माँ बाप की बीमारी दूर हो जाए और वो सेहतियाब हो जाए और फिर हमारे दरमियान में आ जाए। दूसरी नियत ये होती है कि वो बहुत तकलीफ में है, उसकी तकलीफ कम हो जाए और मौला उसको उठा ले। ये दो नियत से जमात आती है। फिर देर आर अदर काइंड ऑफ सतारा। Children are sick, someone was involved in an accident, something unfortunate happened, and Jamaat will come for the satara and say, Mukhi Sahib, something happened, and they will keep the satara. The niyat is that that person, whoever that person is, normally the children or someone young who had some kind of disease or some kind of sickness, and they were in the pain and suffering, for the mushkil asan of their pain and suffering, and they come and ask Mukhi Sahib for satara. In the first example, for the parents or for the elders, when we go for satara, let's check our heart and our intention. पहले हम देखें कि हमारी नीयत क्या है। क्या हम चाहते हैं कि हमारा माँ बाप कभी भी ना गुजरे, या हम ये चाहते हैं कि उनकी तकलीफ कम हो जाए और वो आराम से इमाम के हुजूर में पहुंच जाए। नियत किया है। This फरमान is regarding that. Check and see what is the intention behind satara. This is exactly the फरमान in front of us. कि इस सतारे के पीछे नियत किया है। Check in your heart और देखेंगे इसके पीछे नियत क्या है। Imam says sometime the niyat is different and satara asking is different. जो नियत है वो हम मुखी साहब को नहीं बोलते हैं, हम मुखी साहब को और कुछ बोल रहे होते हैं और हमारे दिल के अंदर नियत और कुछ होती है। दिस इज द फरमान। We must check our intention before we go in front of Mukhi Sahib and ask him for the forgiveness or the easiness of the pain and suffering. Let's check the niyat. I wanted to add one last thing to this. इन सबसे ऊपर जो चीज है, लास्ट थिंग, आखिरी बात, कि इन सबसे जो ऊपर चीज है ना, दैट शुड बी, या मौला, व्हाट वुड यू लाइक, व्हाट इज योर विल एंड विश फॉर माय फैमिली मेंबर? वुड यू लाइक माय पेरेंट्स टू कम टू यू? वुड यू लाइक माय चिल्ड्रन टू कम टू यू? व्हाट वुड यू लाइक मौला? हाउ अबाउट वी एस्क मौला बापा, मौला बापा, what would you like? Is it time for you to call so and so person in your Nurani Didar? If that is your wish and will, Mola Bapa, I accept your wish and will. Then ask, raise your hand and have a dua. Ya Mola Bapa, ease the pain of my family member, ease the pain of my Jamaati member, ease the pain, but do what you like to do. I submit myself to your wish and will. अब हाथ उठाएं और दुआ करें, या मौला हमारे फैमिली मेंबर, हमारी जमात के मेंबर का जो पेन एंड सफरिंग है, जो तकालीफ है, उसको दूर कर। इसके बाद जो तेरे को अच्छा लगे ना वो कर। इसके बाद जो तेरी ख्वाहिश है वो कर, और तेरी ख्वाहिश, तेरी खुशी में मैं खुश हूं। I can tell you, this will make Imam so happy that you are trusting your Imam. ये इमाम को बहुत खुश करेगा। क्यों? कि आपने इमाम पर भरोसा किया है, कि इमाम वो कर रहा है जो इमाम को अच्छा लगता है। So think about this. Let's stop here. Inshallah, next week we will start with Farman number 38. Now, if you have any question or comments, we can go ahead and ask on the chat. And Kamra Sahib, do we have any question already?
Sir, I don't see any question yet. Friends, if you have any question, please share in the chat room. Anyone have any question? You can unmute your device.
या अली मदद अजीज,
या अली मदद,
आप जो समझाए ना कि आबे शफा पीने के टाइम पे एक चीज जो है जो हमें नियत करनी चाहिए, तो वो एक चीज आप फिर बोले नहीं।
very good. Thank you for paying attention. कि एक चीज हम करते हैं और एक चीज की नियत होनी चाहिए। My friend is asking, what is that one thing should we ask for, and what is the one thing we should say? So we all know that we were taught in our childhood, and that's why I was asking everyone to listen to the lecture on Abi Shafa, a detailed lecture. And that was that when you pick up the Niyaz ki pyali, you should say one thing, Noor Maulana Shah Karim Al Hussaini Hazir Imam. What does it mean? That with your Farman, with your name, remember how do we start the sessions? In the name of the Imam. With your name, I am taking this niyaz. And you should ask, keep my iman salamat until the end. हमारा ईमान आखिरी दम तक सलामत रखना. In this one single niyat, you are asking for everything that has to do with your soul and your mind. आप इस एक नियत से अपनी रूह और अपने आखिरत के लिए तमाम चीजें मांग देते हैं. आपको 10, 15, 20 चीजें मांगने की जरूरत नहीं है. हाँ, during the niyat, if you have, do what you need to do in your line. When you are in the line, going for your niyaz, you can talk to Mola Bapa and say whatever you want. But when you get to the niyaz, and when you raise the pyali in your hand, Noor Maulana Shah Karim Al Hussaini Hazir Imam, and take the niyaz. And the niyaz behind that would be, keep my faith complete, salamat until the end. हमारा ईमान आखिरी दम तक सलामत रखना. जी.
थैंक यू सो मच, शुक्र मौला.
दूसरा સુલતાન મોહમ્મદ શાહ का फरमान है કે તમે 1000 વર્ષ સુધી ન્યાસ પીધું પણ તેનો મતલબ સમજ્યા નહીં તો એનો મતલબ કાંઈ નથી. તો એના બારામાં કઈ રોશની આપો પ્લીઝ.
This was the same Farman as what we just read. कि हमने अगर उसका बातिन नहीं समझा तो फिर क्या फायदा। 1000 साल तो हम कहाँ रहेंगे, मुश्किल से 50 60 70 साल की जिंदगी है, 1000 साल तो है ही नहीं हमारे पास। लेकिन मौला का फरमाना ये है कि मैं तुमको 100 मरतबा बोलता हूँ, तुमको समझ में नहीं आता है, तो वो गिन कर नहीं बोलते 100 मरतबा, ये समझाने के लिए कि 1000 साल भी पिएंगे ना तो कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला है, क्योंकि उसका मतलब ही नहीं समझे हैं। सेम एग्जैक्टली सेम फरमान जो आज हमने पढ़ा। जी
Ya Ali Madad, Aziz sir.
या अली मदद।
As we are talking about, and you even just said regarding when we are in the line and going to drink niyaz. So in the line we will able to read also the salawat and durud on al-bayt, right? So it will make more easy for us to attend when we are getting the niyaz. We do our niyat when we are drinking.
So is this a question or comment? I don't understand.
Yeah, I want to ask you, like we are on the line.
So
Better we will
was
also
it
read
a
salawat,
question
right?
or comment?
It's a question, right?
Okay, okay.
Will we do it
So
or not?
yes. My friend is saying, while we are in the line, can we recite salawat, durood, or some kind of other tasbih before we get to the niyaz? Yes, definitely. Anything is better than gossiping and talking and making jokes in the line. Correct? Anything is better than talking while we are in the line of the niyaz. So, when we are in the line, dua line, and when we are in the niyaz line, when we are in chata line. Now, this is only this Garib and Nachi's humble opinion. You're reciting Durood, Salawat, Tasbih. There is a time and place for everything. When do we do Tasbih and Durood and Niyaz and Salawat? While we are sitting on the side before the dua, after the dua. We sit in the peace and we recite our Tasbih and do our Giryazari. While we are driving or while we are at home in peace, we do our Tasbih, Giryazari, Durood, Salam, Salawat, Vagera, Vagera. But in this 1 minute or 2 minutes while we are in the Tasbih line or Chata line or Dua line, again, my humble Garib opinion. This is the time to have a conversation with the Imam, building a niyat with Imam, requesting Imam. I would say take this 1 minute or 2 minutes to have a conversation with Imam, a niyat with Imam. And when you get to that pyali with the final niyat and final asking and final request to the Imam, keep my faith salamat until the end of the time. Noor Maulana Shah Karim Al Hussaini Hazir Imam. With your Farman, I am taking this niyaz. So again, there is nothing wrong with it, but there is a time and place for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ji.
Is that right?
Ji.
Okay, Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah in another Farman also says, when you take Abe Safa, you pray for your brothers and sisters first and then pray for yourself. So when we are praying, we are saying Magu Iman Salamat Rak, that means we are praying for ourselves only. But what about praying for brothers and sisters at the same time?
Very good. So let me say what I said one more time. And if you are, अगर તમને ઉર્દુ સારી આવડે છે, ગુજરાતી આવડે છે તો ગુજરાતીમાં કહું. યા મોલા અમારો ઈમાન આખરી દમ તક સલામત રાખજે. અમારોમાં આપણે બધા આવી ગયા.
Okay, yeah, so we take into consideration that we are praying for others as well together. Yeah, okay, understand that. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
I would like to ask a question or maybe get a clarification, because you mentioned that we have to clear our niyat and set our mind to recognizing the imam first. And I was wondering, what actions can we take to recognize this hakikat of the imam, the truth who the imam is? What kinds of actions can we take on an everyday basis, in our day-to-day life, to help us clear our hearts and clear our eyes so that we can see the truth of who the imam really is?
Subhanallah. Very good question. Very, very good question. So my friend, आपने सुना कि हमारे एक दोस्त ने पूछा कि हम क्या करें कि हम इमाम की पहचान में रहें और रोजाना उसको पहचानने के लिए कोशिश करें और अपनी आंखों और दिलों को पाक करें कि हम इमाम को पहचान सके. क्या करें हम? What do we do? Everything is on steps, ladder, step by step. Everything. As look at our life, we would drink milk, we would eat baby food, and then we grow, we eat other things, and we grow and grow. We go to first grade, we go to second grade, we go to third grade. Everything is steps. Steps is by step. Just like that, recognition of Imam is also on many steps. Many steps. The very first step is which one? That is our parents taught us, and that is blind faith, which is perfectly fine when we are children. That Imam is your Mola, and Imam is your master, and Imam is your Ali Allah, and you trust him. Put your faith in him. Our parents taught us that when we were children. As we were born in Ismaili Tariqa, this came naturally to us. So when we are taking the niyaz, we know exactly who our trust is in, who Mola Bapa is, and ठीक है, it is on blind faith, but we at least know who Mola Bapa is. And when we take the niyaz, we take his name, Nur Maulana Shah Karim al-Hussain Niyaz. In this affirmation, you are saying, Mola Bapa, I know you are my Imam, and in your name, in your Farman, I take this niyaz. This is only the step one. Then comes step two. How did Mola Bapa or any Imam becomes Imam? That requires knowledge, ilm. Just like when you went to the primary school, you went to secondary school, you went to high school, you went to college. Look at how many years and effort you have taken to learn your education so you may get a good job at the end. Don't we want this for our soul? How many years and effort we have taken to learn about our tariqa? Remember, be honest to yourself. You don't have to tell me. Take an effort to learn about the Imam Zaman and learn about the Imams in general. What makes Imam Imam? That should be the lesson number one. Ilm, ilm, ilm. And I wanted to quote Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman. इल्म वाली रूही दर्जा ब दर्जा ऊपर जाती है. Only soul will rise and elevate itself, one with knowledge. take the knowledge on daily basis. That was your question. How do we do this on daily basis? Ilm, and ilm is the answer to this question. There are people, there are sessions which you can take on Imam Shanasis. Ilm is everywhere around us. We just have to find it. Because there are ilm about how to recognize Imam. Imagine that. So that's how you will do it. Very good question. I'm so proud of all of you for thinking this sort of question. G.
So we have a couple of questions in the chat. So the friend's asking, if there is a Jamaati Satara, can a Jamaati member put personal Satara?
Yes, niyat is everything. And I'm going to add something to it. खाली जमाती सतारा है और आपने अपनी नियत करके अपने पैसे डाल दिए. That's a great thing to do. Because niyat is everything, right? What about if there is no satara and you put a satara money and niyat? Niyat is everything. Do not wait for the satara to have the secondary niyat. You can do that anytime. Any day you go to Jamaat Khana without saying a single word, niyat, intention in your heart, and put money in the pyala, ask Mukhi Sahib for the mushkil asan. That is your niyat for satara. Our tariqa is not hard. Our tariqa is very easy. हमारा तरीका इतना मुश्किल नहीं है, बल्कि बहुत ही आसान है. क्योंकि हर चीज के पीछे जो है वो आपका दिल और आपकी नियत है. जब भी आप वो करेंगे, that would be accepted, that would be correct. Good question. G.
So we have another question. Why we do dua karavi with money? Friends asking for the youths. The youths ask this question.
G. Very easy question and very easy answer for that. Remember, money is not required. If you go to Mukhi Sahib and if you just take your hand and say Tobo Tobo, I promise you, Mukhi Sahib will not ask you for the money. Money is not conditional, is not required to do Tobo Tobo. Teach that to your children. Teach that to your children. That
May I
when
ask?
we do give money, that is our love for the Imam, and we give money in the love of the Imam, not for the return of the dua that Mukhi Sahib is about to give you. इस बात को याद रखें और मैं उर्दू में बहुत ही जोर देके इम्फसाइज करके ये कहना चाहता हूं कि अपने बच्चों को सिखाएं कि पैसा डालना रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है, कंपलसरी नहीं है. आप मुखी साहब के सामने हाथ जोड़ के खड़े हो जाएंगे और तोबो तोबो करेंगे. आई प्रॉमिस यू, आपको मुखी साहब वही दुआ देंगे जो आपने 1 रुपया, 100 रुपया, 1000 रुपया डाल के दिया होगा ना, वही दुआ आपको मुखी साहब देंगे. आपको एक पैसा डालने की जरूरत नहीं है. पैसा जो डालते हैं वो आपकी मोहब्बत है इमाम की तरफ. अगर आप पैसा डाल रहे हैं कि उसके रिटर्न में मुझे दुआ मिलने वाली है, तो यू ऑलरेडी मेड अ मिस्टेक. मनी इज मनी द ऑफरिंग ऑफ द लव, नॉट इन द रिटर्न ऑफ द दुआ. बी केयरफुल. अगर आपने नियत की थी कि मैं पैसा डालूंगा तो मुझे दुआ मिलेंगी, यू ऑलरेडी लॉस्ट. बी केयरफुल.
May I add a little thing? I think maybe when we there's an etiquette when we go to somebody's house, someone you really love, you're going on a date. And you don't, in Urdu they say khali hath kisi ke ghar nahi jate, right? Especially jab kuch mangne jate hain. So I was thinking to myself, you know, you can take a flower, we take nandi, we take all kinds of offerings as a token of our gratitude, our love, our humility, I think. And I think that it just, when we give money, it just makes it go to good works. But I'm just thinking that's just the most convenient offering, gift, token. No?
I do not like the implication, because if we give the money in the love of Imam, there cannot be any other excuse greater than that. None, zero. I cannot think of one. All
I know.
the things that you said, even though those are correct, but nothing is greater than the love of Imam. How about we take the top one and give in the love of the Imam if you want? But remember, this question was for the children's sake. Do not teach them that money is required to do the dua. Teach them, you give the money in the love of the Imam and everything will follow. And you do not have to give the money, and dua is not in the return of the money. So I have, in my lifetime, I have done it and I have taught my children to do it. I think if you truly believe in what I'm telling you, try this one time. I'm challenging all of you. Try this one time. Go to Mukhi Sahib, do not give money, and just raise your hand and do the dua. I challenge you, that dua, that day that you ask Mukhi Sahib for Tobo Tobo, and when Mukhi Sahib will give you Khana Wadan, you will feel in your heart. This dua you will never forget. You will never forget. Try it. Take my challenge. Try it. I have done it. I have taught my family to do it. I have taught my children to do it. At least once in your lifetime, go do the dua without the money and feel the connection. I'm telling you, you will never forget that experience. Because what you have just done is you removed the giving and taking part. You just purely asking for Tobo Tobo, and when Mukhi Sahib will give you dua, there will be nothing.
Yeah, it is.
You will never forget that. Ji.
Yari Madad Aziz sir.
Ji, Yali Madad.
That was a beautiful explanation of money in the Jamaat Khana, and it is really good for the children. Do you think you'd give a similar explanation but the son as well? Because I know that is a bit different, but I think more ilm we have about this matter, we can tell the generation, the younger generation better. Thank you.
Absolutely, Dr. Sahib. That every time we give money, may it be on the chanta part, niyas part, dua part, the son, memani, mushkil asan, donation, nandi. Remember we say about nandi. The nandi is free and money goes toward the good. Don't take the nandi with the money. Take the nandi as a free and give the money as the love for the imam, for the good of the jamaat. We can change our way of doing things. That is, these sessions are for absolutely that reason. ये हमारी जो क्लासेस यहाँ पर हो रही है, ये इसीलिए तो है कि हम दूसरी तरफ से चीजों को देख सके. सामने से जो हम चीजों को देख रहे हैं ना, वो तो हमारे माँ बाप ने हमको सिखा दिया है, हमको यहाँ आने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. That's the called blind faith. यहाँ पर हम इल्म के साथ, यकीन के साथ एक और तरीके से अपने मजहब को सीख रहे हैं. वो मजहब जो हमने 25-50 साल तक पाला है, आज हम इसको सीख रहे हैं कि मजहब को किस तरह से पालना है. That is absolutely the reason we are here. We woke up early in morning for this particular reason. Ji.
Yeah, sir, I'm still not very clear about the difference between all those practices versus the zone. How is the difference to be explained to the younger generation?
I would explain the same way. So 2 different ways, okay? I understand your question about the dason, and the dason is compulsory versus all other money is not compulsory. That is your question, I understand. But remember, we are talking about the children. So when you are teaching the children, you teach them, number 1, always give. And you know how my sister was saying a minute ago, when you go to someone's home, don't take a gift as an obligation, because you're taking something because you feel obligated. If you are going to someone's home, you must take something. Don't be obligated. Don't take anything as an obligation to anyone. Take it with a love. Love is the key to the offering. अभी जो हमारी बहन कह रही थी कि किसी के घर पे जाते हैं, हम डेट पर जाते हैं, तो हम फ्लावर लेके जाते हैं. Don't take the flower as an obligation because you are going to someone's home. You know, you feel obligated. You're supposed to take something. That's the culture. They will not like it if you go empty-handed. Don't take it. Take it with a love. Keep that in mind now, teaching the children about the son. The son भी आप बच्चों को इसी तरह से सिखाएंगे initially. That give with the love of the Imam, not as a burden. Why our children are asking this question today? You know why? Because their parents are teaching them that you have a burden on you to give. That is not the way to teach children. Then, once they understand the love of the Imam, then you can teach them about the necessity of the son, the blessing of the son, and the return of the blessing of the son. That is secondary, not the primary. Primary must be the love of the Imam. Ji.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ali Madad.
Yeah, Ali Madad. Somebody was trying to say something. Do we have any other question, Kamle sir?
I don't see
Yeah.
anything in the chat.
Yeah.
I think Jalal Bhai was asking question. He got unmuted.
And some AD, who's AD?
Yeah, Mr. Aziz, go ahead,
Yes,
please.
yes,
Azim,
yes.
Ji. Ji.
Yeah, thank you. This is about Niaz Abi Safa again. I believe, I'm not sure whether it was a Farman or was it something that was said by Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah to the leaders when there was some talk about drinking from the same pyali, and then some Jamati members were saying that, oh, because we are drinking from the same pyali, if somebody's got sickness, the others might get it, drinking from the same pyali, other members of the Jamaat. And Sultan Muhammad Shah was very unhappy about that. He says, show me one member of the Jamaat who is contracted any kind of disease by drinking from the same pyali. Have you heard this thing before?
I don't remember this particular event, but that is so true. In one of our early lecture on the sessions, and I believe if you listen to 3 or so year old lectures on Niyaz, I have talked about this actually, Azim.
Okay.
See, if someone asks you, what is the biggest miracle of Ismaili Tariqa? There are 2 questions I always have asked on this session. What is the biggest miracle of the Imam? And what is the biggest miracle of our Tariqa? The biggest miracle of our Tariqa is and that is niyaz and drinking from one single pyali. Hundreds of years, thousands of years, we've been drinking from this pyali. Look at the word Abe Shifa. It's supposed to cure you, not to give you disease.
So
There has never been a single case that I know of ever recorded that, I mean, think about all the flu that flies around every single year, twice a year. No one ever got sick and got flu from drinking niyaz. Never.
okay. So what is your comment about the restriction now we have in Jamaat Khana about
Very good
niyaz?
question. Yes, I thought about that. So that's why I said 3 years ago or more, we had talked about that. So when COVID came, and I remember very, very clear in about March 1st, we were talking about that. And in these sessions, we were talking about that. That can someone contract COVID drinking from the niyaz ki pyali from each other? And my comment was, if that is the case, then Imam will guide us. Imam is there. I cannot make the decision. No one should make the decision. Imam is here to guide us. Imam will tell us when and what to do, what to start and what to stop. And sure enough, I think it was close to March 6th or so when the talika came or the guidance came that we will have the temporary cups, pialis, for the niyaz. You remember we had those plastic pialis, and that came. And after a while, even that was taken away. So in this kind of things, niyat and your faith plays a huge role, a great role. But Imam's Farman oversees all of that. So when Imam says don't do it, we have no problem. We don't do it. Tomorrow Imam says don't say dua, or Imam says don't come to Jamaat Khana. Look at it. We didn't have a Jamaat Khana for a long time. Imam Farman goes above everything we think of, and we have a iman of. Imam's Farman oversees everything.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because I remember Sultan Mocha said that if I say it is day, then it is day. If I say it is night, then it is night. Don't put your own thinking, right? Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, correct. Thank you.
मिश्रा साहब
जी
न्यास पीने के टाइम में हम ऐसे नहीं बोलते यासा तमे थापिया तमे थपाव्या हमें नूर करी पीदा. We said that. That's what we've been taught when we was very young.
Right. That's I think at the very beginning of this Farman reading, I said, I'm sure somebody will come and say so and so Gnan says that. That is in the Gnan actually, and it says that. But we were talking about the final point, not the beginning point. There can be many beginning lessons to learn. We can stick to ABCD, sure, why not? Or we can get to the final point. And today we went to the final point. That with the Farman of the Imam, we take the Niyaz ki pyali, and the niyat behind is to keep the Iman salamat until the end. That is the last lesson, not the first lesson. Ji.
Thank you. Thanks.
If you have any other question, Kamra Sahab, we can take one more and then we can stop.
So there are no questions in the chat.
If there are no more questions, we can stop here. Inshallah, we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Ya Ali Madad. Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Thank you and Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Thank you so much, and Yali Madad.
Ya
Yali
Madad,
Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Ya Madad, Ya Madad, Ya Madad.
يا لمدى شكرا لا
God
مدى
bless.
لله
God
شكرا
bless.
Shukar
Shukar
Mawla,
ala
shukar.
Yali
Alhamdulillah.
Madad.
Ya Madad, shukar
Mawla tamay
alhamdulillah.
Mawla save
Yali
table
Madad.
kari Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Amin, amin, amin,
अजर इमाम आपकी खिदमत का एवज आपको दीन
amin,
और दुनिया में
amin,
क्या
amin, amin. Ya Madad, Ya Madad.
मौला अली मदद
Yali Madad, thank you.